Okay, I think I'm live. So let me tweet it first. Join me to explore ERC4337 on today's stream. Okay, now that's done. So yesterday we did multiple things. Uh, Let me close all these things. Okay, so yeah, we worked on testing these emit functions, then get required gas refund and get user OP gas price. So that was the idea. Uh, and today we are going to work on this, uh, testing this internal function and hoping to get the correct validation data. We are also going to test uh, test for this if it reverts with correct revert data. Uh, Execute. It's in the utils. Okay. Execute call. Returns success. What was the function? Get return data. Get return data. I don't understand like how this thing works. But let's assume there is no data returned for now, or at least, or we can test uh, with console and get details about it. And here, this is this is their error where account contract is not. Just a second. Okay, so this is a function where this is the error where account contract is not sending enough ETH back, which it should. If it should if the contract is using base account, which handles the prefund, uh, pay pay prefund, and sends the missing account fund. But if not, then this error will occur. So for this, we need to create instance of account contract. Then we need to create, and then we need to pass all these things to to this function and assume it it will work, hopefully. So we have written a function. This was a function, yes, internal. It creates this like dummy structs, two dummy structs. User op info take has one field which is of type memory user op. So we need to create both of them, and that's why I return both of these values back. So for next thing, we need to create simple account with all the constructor requirements that are there. Then we need to set up these memory of these structs and get back those. So you can see user op info. That's the we need to construct this, and lastly we need to send correct values. We can test what happens when the correct values are not sent, because that would be interesting. It will give out of gas error, but where that error will get caught, that's the thing. Here reverted, and then the oh okay, so the reason will should be returned. Let's see. So we don't need to fail it. Like I was thinking explicitly fail that function call on the simple account, like modify the whole thing. But instead of that, I can just, yeah, instead of that, I can just send less gas, low amount of gas, and it'll definitely fail then. That I know. Okay, let's, instead of talking, we can start with writing the test. Let's see, can we just create like simple account, private simple account? Yeah, probably not good. Why not good is because all the variables should be at the top, like you can see here. I don't want to go up and down. Okay, let's close this. Let's go up here. Then simple account, we need to import simple account. From samples, like we have written it in first few streams. So import simple account source slash sample slash simple account dot sol. Yes, that works. We have this here. Now we can expose this function because this is internal. I know I'm regurgitating everything, but it's just like that's the repetition where I and me and anyone who is listening will, like, if I hammer those concepts down again and again, like those concepts become clear pretty quick. So here we can say this and then say expose, change the visibility to external, and then return underscore get, sorry, validate account prepayment, and then pass all these values to it. Okay, now that's done. We can go down and instead of creating a variable, ins- instead of creating a variable, sorry, function to create that instance again and again, we can create a modifier called create simple account and related data. Okay, also let me Google something and come back. Okay, let's come back here. Here it will be underscore this function test validate account pre-payment. Now we can external external. Then what we need, console.log. Is it there? Yes, console log is here. So let's try to use this create simple account and related data. I haven't used it. Oh, okay. No, I can't do that. I wanted to pass a variable from this that is in this function scope to modifier, but I guess that's not possible. That won't be possible. So simple account equal to new simple account. Now what is this entry point? And we need, okay, just a second. Okay, I don't think my plan will work. Okay, let's just convert this to function and move to internal. You can remove this entry point Have we created an owner? No. Okay, we have done this in the simple account integration tests. Um, okay, yeah, simple account integration. We have to do whole this thing again. Okay, let's write it instead of copying that. Let's say this returns address and fact user operation memory. Okay, we also need to modify this to get. No, we can't. We can't. It's too much modification. Yeah, let's just rewrite the whole thing. Not an ideal scenario for anyone, but let's go with it. Where the Let's see in the entry point this OP, where is it used? Oh, it is sent to account contract. Yes, it is. We are getting something here. Okay, so we just need to write the whole thing again. User OP info memory. Is name something else? Oh, sorry, entry point. We haven't defined it. Here we can just import it. Now that here user op info comma memory user op. Okay, this doesn't work. Let's cross that. Will this work? Why? We need to access it with entry point dot user info. I don't know. Okay, for now we'll just keep doing entry point dot. Okay, it's not standalone declaration. Understood? Let's create an owner equal, sorry, address, oh, make account owner, change this to account. Yes, account memory. We need this because we need the is we need private key to get the create the signature. That's why we need account instead of address. And make account is the cheat code from Foundry. So you don't need to think about it, and you will access address with owner.addr. Now we have the simple account. Next we need to create the packed user operation. Packed user operation memory user op. Then we'll create packed user operation sender address of simple account. Next is nonce. We can say 0. Then it's call data. We can say we are in the validation phase, so we can say 0. And this D is capital. Uh, Not 0, but we can send empty call data because not nor the function that we are testing is dependent on it or our simple account. So we can just send a random value, uh, empty value, which is also random. Oh, sorry, that's the init code. Okay, let me copy the whole thing. I'm not creating it again and again. It's too much hassle. Okay, we have created the packed user operation. Now we need to hash this. Yeah, I wanted to test that, right? In the one of the previous streams, I said don't use this formatted op hash. Instead, we can just use op hash and send it here. But our simple account uses each signed. That's why we are using this. Instead, can we change our simple account and test it? Let's run the integration test first. Okay, so that works. We don't really need to hash it again and again. We can just ignore this and use user op hash. And now most of our functions will fail. So I know this is a detour, but let's run forge test and see how bunch of them fail. Oh, only one. Okay. Also, I don't know why I'm changing like from camel case to this other case. But from now on, I'm just gonna follow the camel case. That's much easier. So this test is in simple account T. Okay, paste this. Okay, where? Yeah, we just need to change this. No, sorry. We need to keep this. Remove this part. Rename this to user operation. User operation hash. Pass that user operation hash here and here. And then test it again. And hopefully, yes, everything passes. Yes, now we can do same thing here where we don't need the ETH to signed message. I think that was the name, right? Yeah, to ETH signed message hash. It may be better to use this instead of just using this to follow EIP712, I think. Oh, sorry, this follows EIP712, and that's the way MetaMask or any EOA will tell you like what you're signing and has a structure to it. But we changed it. We can change it back. Hmm, let's see. Maybe I'll Google and see what's was the better way to go about it. Should I follow it or shouldn't I? That's the question. Anyway, we know what to change if we want. Let's go back here, which is entry point. We need to get the user operation hash. Get user operation hash. Okay, we got the hash. Then that will be uint 8 vrs rsv. It returns vrs and we have to pack it as rsv. Okay, v bytes 32r bytes 32s equal to vm dot sign owner dot key comma user. Sorry, we didn't save the user operation hash. Bytes 32 user operation hash equal to, and then we can put the operation here. Operation hash user op hash. Next step is we will say p user op hash dot signature equal to abi dot encode packed r comma s comma v. Now that's done. That's done. Next part is we have the user operation hash, so we can return it. Now we need to create entry point dot memory operation, memory user op, memory m user op equal to, we have to say entry point dot memory user op. Okay, for this we can copy it. Where was the last part? Oh, sorry, here. We can copy all the values, paste it, paste it. Okay, this will, yeah. Now we need to change this to simple account address none equal to 0. We have all the values like 100,000, 100,000, 100,000, 100,000, pre-verification gas 100,000, 30, 30. We can say next is entry point dot user of info memory user of info equal to user of info, and now this will have 5 fields, these 5 fields. M user of, that's correct. We have the user operation hash, so we can see that prefund. Okay, let's go to entry point and see. Required a prefund, that's the amount. Okay, just a second. That's the amount that will be sent to entry point, and the entry point will send that amount back to that will be sent to account address, account contract, not account address, account contract, and the return value, that value will be sent back in ETH to entry point, and entry point will refund it to bundler, the beneficiary. If you remember how handle user ops function was structured, it had an array of packed user operation and a beneficiary where the amount was sent. This amount will be sent to that address. So let's say like 0.1 ETH. Can we put that? Refund amount is 0.1 Ether. Yes, we can. And a pre-op gas. We need to go entry point. Sorry, I'm looking at the wrong thing again. Okay, let me go down. Forget what I said in the previous thing. So op info, it creates memory user operation. Not creates, but like we save it in the memory. Then op info, it checks this thing which we haven't seen yet, and we are not gonna see for few more streams. We first need to understand paymaster, because that's much simpler to understand. Then we are going to go through all the things like paymaster, unit testing, integration testing, and then we are going to move on to account factories and how things work, all those things work. So here, not tested, line won't be tested. So if you see, if account is not equal to 0, it goes down. Sender equal to sender, code dot length. Yeah. So what we send is here opinfo, where is packed user operation? Sorry, it's opinfo op. Okay, op is packed user operation, and in the packed user operation we are sending init code will be 0. So any case this line won't, this function will be called, but nothing in that function will be executed because it's just a big was that mm, big if block. So it is 0, so ignore that and move on. That's why this line won't be tested, like won't be tested by us. Next is we are going to write each and every scenario for it. Uh, in our integration test, where we will try to get all these errors from by calling entry point, by calling handle user ops with all the details. So we are going to tweak everything accordingly, where right now we are we are unit testing it, not integration testing the whole thing. So for now it's okay, but when like we are gonna still test the if we get revert, like with expect revert, but in integration test, instead of like exposing this, we're gonna call handle ops, and then handle ops will uh, create all the scenarios, the data that is sent to handle ops, that will create all the scenarios which will create these reverts and rest of the things that we want. Let's see what happens. This line won't be tested. Paymaster is 0 right now, and If paymaster is not 0, what happens? Not 0, this passes, then this also passes. Okay, and then the next function will be called. So this function is used here. Is it? Yeah, here. So you can see validation data. This checks nonce and goes over, like, if verification gas limit is, we are over the verification gas limit. If not, it comes down byte context. It checks if address is not 0. Here we checked if address is 0, we passed few lines. Here, if it's not 0, then this will execute. If it is 0, it will move on to this part. So ignore this. We need to set yeah, context. Context. Okay, when paymaster comes. Okay, uh, right now ignore it. We'll see that function which is above this, which is using this function. Was the name validate prepayment? So validate prepayment checks for prepayments from both the functions, both the entities, account contract and paymaster. Okay, where were we? We created this 0.1 ether, 30 pre. Yeah, I wanted to see this pre-op gas if it is used somewhere, and context offset info, but don't think that is used anywhere. Op info, it's used here, here, and here. M user op, it sends the whole thing, and then the pre-op gas is not used. You can set it to 0. You can set this to 0 also, because context offset is not used unless we are using paymaster. Then the context offset will be used. Max fees, these things are used in any scenario, and change this to 0. So last thing is vm.deal, because it is going to send 0.1 ether back to entry point. It needs to have some ether. So address, simple account, 1 ether, then return owner p user op, and then user of info. Okay, it was a long big function. We have written it. Now we will test it. Also, I wanted to modify this, but we'll see that afterwards. This will return 3 things, which is account, memory. We don't need owner. Let's see. Yeah, we don't need the owner. So let's remove it from here also. I don't remember why I added that. I thought it would be some kind of it, w- it would come in handy, but that's not the case. So, oh sorry, Alt F. Now we have entry point, fact, user operation, memory, user op, then entry point dot user op info, memory, then user op info, we can say. Next part is entry point dot validate account prepayment, which takes index less than 0. We have this, right? Op info required. Oh, so prefund. That amount is not used anywhere. How is it calculated? Paymaster balance of. No, it's not calculated. Missing account fund is calculated, but we are sending this value. So this value can be set to 0 because we don't need it. This is user op info. Then UN 256 required pre-fund equal to zero point 0.1 ether, and we'll pass that value here. Required pre-fund. We can also set this to do this for OP index. Instead of passing random values, you can say OP index, and last was verification gas limit. I hope I am correct. Yes, just to make sure spelling is correct, I'm copy pasting it. Yeah, spelling was not correct. And we can set it to UN 256. Okay, so these things are sent. We are expecting validation data, which is I guess success. We yeah not I guess, we are expecting success. Let's import those things. We have done this previously. I can copy paste the import, go back down, then UN 256 validation data equal to vm.assert equal to validation data comma sec underscore sorry yes sec validation successful. Okay, that's one of the things that we can check. Other is if it sends vm dot assert equal to entry point balance, because in the, let me, balance 0.0 ether, sorry, required prefund, yeah. So in the validation phase it also sends the amount back. That's why we are checking the given amount back. That's why we are checking if entry point has received that value, which will be 0.1 ETH. Now let's test this. Yes, that works. Now next function, okay, change. We don't need to test for this case. Change, yeah, change owner. And we can create a random, sorry, yeah, random user, change owner, question mark, random user dot key. Can we do this? Yes, we can. Let's see if our modification, okay, sorry, did I, what, okay, so first value is true. True is not needed, but let's test it anyways. So success value, validation successful. We'll do same thing. Validation failed. Remove all these things. That's not needed. We also don't need this, this, and this, because we already have those things above. But we need to double this. Entry point is receiving the amount twice in same test. Okay, Nope, it will fail. I know. Oh, sorry. Balance will be doubled, but not the required prefund. Yes. We are sending this value twice, and that will be the balance. That's why I'm doubling this. Okay, now that's done. We have covered this part, right? Now if we want to get the error, we can say, what we can say? Yeah, if this value is double, sorry, if we want to get this, we can send less value and expect a revert, and it should revert. Let's try that. We'll use the whole thing, like same thing as we did here. Create a function, test. Let me copy the whole thing. No, not copying anything. Test validate account prepayment external. Okay, prepayment reverts on low gas. Now here we are not gonna get the entry point validation data. Instead we are gonna say vm dot expect revert and just expect some revert. Let's set value to 50 and then copy this. We are gonna see the trace because I don't know what error will be there, but I know there is a error. Yes, there is a error. EVM out of gas and 0x. So no data is given back to this. Okay, that works. So this is I entry point dot field of its revert dot selector. We need to wrap it in ABI dot encode with selector. Next thing is the error code, which is 8AA23 reverted. Double A 23 reverted and empty hex. Let's see if this thing passes because we are actually sending the error. So if error is wrong, yes, as you can see here. Why? Oh, okay. We also need OP index. Let's see now. Okay, we didn't pass one of the arguments, that's why it was a wrong error. Tomorrow we are gonna test for this, where we need to modify the account simple account to send the wrong value, and then this error will occur, and we are going to see how to what data it returns, like how can a revert, how will a revert return data, and we can see it in this revert, like custom revert message. Right now, when the valid user of reverts, it doesn't send any data. We're gonna test like if it returns correct data, if there is a data, and this value where we need to actually modify the whole thing. And also this, uh, I know this missing account fund is calculated like if balance is based on the balance or deposit. Yeah, deposit of account contract. Right now we are not doing that here, so tomorrow we'll see. We can send a random like 0.1 ETH, but deposited is 1 ETH, and this should pass. That's the idea, like to test this scenario. Next, what? Yeah, so yeah, there are three things. So this testing with deposit bigger than prefund, then testing failed OP with revert with data, and testing failed op where account contract doesn't pay correct prefund amount. These three things will test tomorrow. Okay, so that's it for today's stream. Thanks for joining the stream. If someone is watching it afterwards, also thanks, and see you guys tomorrow.